In a dark corner, under a rickety bunk bed, the faint light of an old flashlight illuminated the focused face of 10-year-old Anya. Before her lay an 11th grade physics textbook. Her small hand glided across the page, solving a complex problem that even her oldest sister had given up on. Outside, the snores of her drunken father and the grumbling of her sister echoed, "That lazy little thing, where is she hiding again?" Anya quickly turned off the light, hugging the book tightly. To her, knowledge wasn't homework. It was the only weapon to escape this reality, the wings to fly into another universe where her worth wasn't defined by prejudice. Where did this dream of a different life begin? Perhaps it started in the days at the place they called a home. Flashback, the choosing day. The St. Jude orphanage wasn't a terrible place, at least not physically. The children were fed and clothed, but an invisible cruelty always lingered in the air, and it grew thickest on choosing day each weekend. That was the day when childless couples with charitable smiles and yearning eyes would come to find a child of their own. They were like shoppers in a high-end porcelain store. They would walk around, observe and evaluate. They would choose the prettiest children, the little girls with skin as white as milk and angelic smiles, and they always passed over Anya. Her skin was the color of chocolate, her hair a cascade of tight black curls. She would stand there in her faded uniform, trying to force her brightest smile, but the couples would just glance past her. One by one, her friends left. The dormitory grew emptier, the number of vacant beds multiplied. Every night, Anya would curl up on her cold bed and whisper a wish. "Tomorrow, please let it be me. Please let someone choose me." She dreamed of a family, a mother who would braid her hair, a father who would teach her to ride a bike. She dreamed of going to school, of doing homework. A dream so simple for other children, but for Anya, it was as distant as a star. And then one fateful day, her wish seemed to be answered. A black couple walked in. David was tall and broad-shouldered. Maria had a warm smile. Their eyes landed on Anya almost immediately. Maria knelt down, looked directly into Anya's eyes and said, "Hello, my dear. You have the most beautiful eyes." In that moment, Anya's world stopped. For the first time, someone had truly seen her. The day Anya left St. Jude, she thought her life was about to turn to a brilliant new page. And it did turn to a new page. Except this one was harsher and darker than anything she had ever experienced. A new life, the prison without bars. The Sterling family lived in a working-class neighborhood. David, her adoptive father, was a skilled mechanic. Maria, her adoptive mother, was a nurse. They had a biological daughter, Jasmine, 2 years older than Anya. At first, it was like a dream, but the happiness was as brief as a summer shower. Just 3 months after Anya arrived, David's company downsized, and he, one of their best workers, was the first to be let go. The shock, the financial burden, and perhaps the bitterness of racial prejudice broke the strong man. David started to drink. He became sullen, irritable, and often came home late at night, drunk. Maria became the sole provider. She worked tirelessly. By day, a nurse. By night, she took on extra cleaning shifts at a diner. Love was now measured in meager paychecks, with no time left for hugs or bedtime stories. She became a shadow in her own home. The Anya family she had dreamed of now consisted of her and Jasmine was not a kind sister. Filled with jealousy, she turned Anya into a personal maid. "You eat for free in this house, so you have to work," was the phrase Anya heard daily. But Anya's true hell was watching Jasmine go to school each morning. The desire to learn burned inside her. So she began to steal. She secretly took Jasmine's old textbooks. At night, under the bed with her old flashlight, she devoured them. Math, physics, chemistry, literature, knowledge became her only escape, her only friend. She taught herself, solved the problems Jasmine couldn't, and wrote the essays her sister struggled with. To keep the peace, she started doing Jasmine's homework. The lazy Jasmine gladly accepted, never knowing that while she was out playing, her adopted sister was building an astonishingly strong foundation of knowledge in her place. Not accepting her current fate, Anya did something no one expected. On a stormy night with crackling thunder and lightning, the 11-year-old girl, soaked to the bone, went to the diner where her mother washed dishes and begged the owner for a job. "I can do anything, sir," she said, her eyes shining with incredible determination. Moved by her spirit, the owner hired her as a cleaner. Anya's world was now filled with greasy tables and sticky floors, but she didn't complain. She observed. She watched her mother, Maria, meticulously wash stacks of dishes despite her exhaustion. She watched the owner, a kind but conservative middle-aged man, cook the same outdated dishes. Her opportunity came on a busy weekend night. The diner was packed, and the only waitress suddenly called in sick. As customers began to complain, Anya took off her cleaning apron, took a deep breath, and stepped out. "Sir, let me help." And she stunned everyone. With a phenomenal memory, she knew the menu after one reading. With natural agility, she wove through the tables like a shuttle. And most importantly, with a radiant smile and sincere politeness, she soothed even the grumpiest customers. The owner stood in the kitchen, watching in silent awe as the girl he'd hired to sweep the floors was now running the entire dining room. That day, he fired the old waitress and officially hired Anya. For the first time in her life, Anya received a salary earned with her own sweat and tears. She gave it all to her mother, keeping only a tiny fraction for herself. She knew this was just the beginning. Part 2. From kitchen helper to the boss. The diner's business was declining. The owner's old-fashioned food no longer appealed to anyone. Anya, while cleaning the kitchen, would secretly taste spices and read recipes from old newspapers. She had a natural palate. One slow afternoon, she boldly asked the owner if she could use some leftover ingredients to try making a dish. She created a chicken stew with a special herb sauce, a recipe she had invented herself. The owner tasted it, and he was stunned for a second time. The dish was both familiar and new, and unbelievably delicious. He decided to take a gamble. He let Anya into the kitchen, at first just as a helper, but soon she became the soul of the entire kitchen. She created new dishes, combining traditional and modern flavors. The little diner began to revive. Customers returned more than ever before. They came not for the diner, but for Anya's food. Years passed. Anya grew up with the diner. She became the manager, the little boss in everyone's eyes, handling everything. With her own strength, she had saved a business on the brink of bankruptcy, and she saved every penny she earned for a bigger goal: to go to college. Part 3. Love, Betrayal, and a Bold Decision. Anya entered university to study restaurant and hospitality management, carrying the confidence of someone with real-world experience. There she met Leo, a smart, handsome man with the same ambitions. They fell in deep love. For the first time, Anya felt a complete happiness, a love without calculation or jealousy. They painted a rosy future together, of a restaurant chain they would build side by side. But life challenged her once again. Just before graduation, Anya discovered that Leo had been cheating on her. He was seeing another girl, the daughter of a wealthy family, who could offer him a shortcut to success. Without a word of explanation, Leo and the other girl went abroad to study, leaving Anya with a shattered heart. The pain almost broke her, but the years of hardship had forged an iron will within her. She would not allow herself to be weak. After a week of tears, she stood up, stronger than ever.
She made a bold decision. She returned to the diner, which was now a stable business, and transferred full ownership to her adoptive mother, Maria, ensuring her a comfortable life. Then she said goodbye to her family and applied for a position as a waitress at Le Ciel, one of the most luxurious restaurants in the city. She chose to start again from zero, to learn from the best and hone her skills in the harshest environment possible. Part 4. A new battle, a queen's endgame. Le Ciel was a true battlefield. The staff backstabbed and schemed to win favor with customers and management. Anya, with her experience and talent, quickly became a star, which also made her a target of envy. She often felt discouraged, but her will wouldn't let her quit. She persevered and became the best employee. Her talent caught the eye of Marcus, the restaurant manager, a mature, charismatic man in his 30s, who was married. After the pain with Leo, Anya's heart was empty. Marcus arrived, filling that void with attention, praise, and the experience of a grown man. Anya fell into a sinful affair. But after a short time, she quickly realized her mistake. Seeing her reflection in the mirror, she felt disgusted with herself. She was not the kind of person who destroyed someone else's happiness. She decided she had to end it. She broke up with Marcus decisively, despite his attempts to win her back. She focused entirely on her work. With her outstanding talent, she was promoted by the board of directors to a new management position. And in a twist of fate, she became Marcus's direct superior. One day, Anya saw Marcus inappropriately flirting with a new young employee. The image of her past self flashed before her eyes. But this time, she was not the victim, she was the one in power. She didn't seek personal revenge. She acted like a professional manager. She gathered evidence, reported Marcus's harassing behavior to the board, and he was fired. Epilogue: The Architect of Dreams. From here, nothing could stop Anya. She became one of the youngest and most talented restaurateurs in the city. She was strong, financially independent, and in control of her life. She returned to St. Jude, not as an abandoned child, but as a benefactor. She invested in renovating orphanages and established vocational programs, especially in the culinary arts, for underprivileged children. She became a bridge, helping hundreds of children find loving families. Anya didn't rush into marriage. She became an inspiration, a role model, not just for aspiring young men, but for everyone who believes that destiny is not something that is given, but something you build with your two hands.